drug is pharmacy. So when now we now say talk about pharmacokinetics, kinetics means the activity of pharmacy of medicine in the system. Activity, kinetics. That activity, how it goes up and down, how it runs through the veins, through the muscles, and through the organs. What the changes may mean to the liver, to the uterus, to the veins, to the how it mixes with water and blood, how it affects the heart, what is the contraindication, what does it give to us? Does it make us grow? Does it renovate our dead organs? So these are activities of drug. We also have it in our system. I remember very well when I was young, my parent, because it is not only what we take into their mouth that is drug, not only that, what passes through our pore, our skin pore is also a drug. I remember when I was young, anytime we have fever, am I being listened to? Hello, is anybody listening to me? Oh, okay. My mother will ask me, is either when I am having rigor, that is malaria, my mother will make a herb and it will cover me to have the steam. Hmm. Believe me sincerely, that steam is what they call sauna now. Sauna. That is what people are paying heavily for. I realize that sauna, that's people in the spa. I hope you understand spa, where people go to relax their muscles, their bodies. Sauna, yes. So that heat goes into the pore, remove the dead cells, penetrate into the system. We inhale it through the nose. It's, we have it through the skin, and it will go to the system. Just the heat and the chemical that we don't know what our parents mix together, they do wonderfully well. By the time you cover your head with the heat, everything in your nose will come out. Even your hair, you also notice that God is around, and your skins will sweat. All those dead things will be removed, will be removed. So that is sahuna, and it was there. It is still happening in our local herbs. Then we also talk about what we drink. All these things is like even cough syrup. If you take bitter cola and honey and a pinch of salt, you put it together, it will clear the throat. It's an antibiotics. So the drinking aspect of the God-given leaves and other things that we move together is also a drug. And these are things that these people are using. The only additive they put is preservative, although they also use chemicals. And where does the chemical come from? It's from the ground. It is all these stones that is being grinded in a certain percentage. All the gemstones and all the uh, um, spices that we call the seeds that we call spices now. These are things they put together. We can do it, and we have more than they do. We have a lot. Not only that, even those that we don't have, we can plant them here. Today, I just gotten some ginger from my backyard, and I said I'm going to preserve it. Ginger has a lot of antibiotics. Let me tell you, for if you have fever, if you put ginger, I mean turmeric. I have a farm in my small place. So if you see the volume of turmeric I got from that farm today, you'll be surprised. And I didn't put anything, and I didn't even plant it. It was the cut from the one I bought from the market. I threw to the back. So pharmacy is everywhere. We are not noticing it. If you eat rightly, if we drink rightly, if we have our shower rightly, we will not have problem. So pharmacokinetics is activities of all these things, whether we drink or we eat or we swallow or we infuse into our body. In fact, there is one herb that one of my friends in 1980, was 86 or 87 in Lagos, when I was teaching at Ifako International School. The woman is a librarian. Anytime it's not easy for that woman to pass stool, he will just put all this concoction together and use something to puff it through the anus. Believe me sincerely, everything will come out. That woman never fall sick for one day. Throughout the time I spent almost 10 years there before I left. So pharmacokinetics is the basis of everything that we are doing. If you are, I went to Dubai, I was passing by and I saw, I passed by and I felt a kind of aroma. I told my friend that we went together. What is it? Are these people telling fragrances? That is turari? They said no, it's their spices. I said, what do you mean? Spices, Iranian? You will never see them, mess this up. I've not heard that Iranian will cry for help on health, on medical things. Ditto the Indians. You will think that they are eating jargons. They are not eating jargons. So pharmacokinetics must be one of the things that we must prioritize everywhere, especially must be part of curriculum in the school. If a child knows that if he takes oranges, it will go through the gut and away wash away the intestines, the child will adapt to that system, because it is not only that it's supplying vitamin C, it also washes the dirt in the system. Let me tell you one thing about our own pharmacokinetics. Did you know that if you kill cow today in this part of the world, we don't throw cow intestine away? Am I right? I want to be feeling you. Am I right? Okay. We don't throw the intestine we don't throw it away. Now we turn it, isn't it? And we see that it has pores. Everybody carries pores around. And the level of the pores you have will determine the kind of disease you are carrying around. It is very deadly and it makes us sick. No matter how much expensive of the food you eat, if you don't eat rightly, you are not likely to have a good that food that you eat is not likely to go down well with you. It will not percolate. That is it. What do I mean by percolation? It will not, because the pores, àwọn bùtùbùtù tó wà ní ìfun yẹn, it will take the position and it will work against the nutrient of the new food you want to eat. Are you getting what I'm saying? Hello? So you will have to make sure you clean you will have to make sure that you clean your system. Eat and wash your plate. The intestine is like a plate that is containing and distributing our food. So when we eat, the residue of the food, that because there is a quantity of it that the body will take a quantity of it that will go into the liver, a quantity of it that will go into the kidney, a quantity of it that will go into the bloodstream, a quantity of it that will go into the derma, that is your skin, a quantity of it that will go to your brain through the blood. The veins also carry all these things around. It will still remain, and that's why we go to the restroom to pull out all that. Let me tell you, not every residue that we pull out. So we just have to have some materials that will clean it. So before we take any food, we need some herbal materials that is very close to your house, like garlic in the morning, garlic water, garlic and water and little ginger, then turmeric. If you have honey, you put a little so that it will look like tea. If you want to do it well, put apple cider. Believe me sincerely. And lemon, please, not lime, and lemon. Even if you have ulcer, do it. When you do it, immediately eat. It will not affect you. So it will not, there won't be activity of drug you are taking. That is activity of food if you don't clean out the debris. It's like the plate you used yesterday, you put it on the table. And in the morning, you put another one. The microorganisms that may have grown on the plate that you left for some time will definitely affect the new food. And when it affects it, it will destroy it because it will erode all the nutrients. When it does that, what happens? Then disease and infirmity will follow immediately. So the number of nutrients that are supposed to go into the system will not go there. It will not go there. It will be disease. So in order not to make our life diseased or our organs diseased, in the medical line, they call all the organ GIT. If it turns to disease, GI, that is general intestinal organs, GIO, general intestinal organ. But if it becomes disease, GIT, that is general intestine diseases. So death starts from the food we eat, and it doesn't become death trap until it gets to the stomach. So we must be conscious that we are conscious of what we eat, and we must take advantage of God's nature around us. People in the desert don't have this advantage. Every side of them is sand. They do by fire by force are doing greenhouse, and it's not even green. They put a lot of chemicals to make it a little green, but we don't put anything. Your feces you throw around, your urine turns all the materials around you to pharmacy, but we don't see it. So I want to advocate that everybody in this part of, especially in Nigeria, especially in the Southwest, must be conscious of every little thing. If you want to do a riro, even egusi, what stops you from having yanapaja? I will get all the names of all these things for you. Yanapaja leaves. Ó ṣe é rò fọ́ tó máa dùn green, ó máa green títí tí ẹ fi máa ṣe tán ni. But a little of yanapaja, a little of efirin, a little of moringa leaves, a little of ewúro, much of ewúro, gbúre, then ṣọkọ, then a little of kí ni wọ́n porúkọ ẹ̀ tí mo rà lọ́sàn-án yìí, to make it 7. Ẹ̀fọ́ ọ̀tẹ̀tẹ̀ has its own species, but all the ones that look like water leaf, they are very, very good. But a little, what you have just done for yourself is that you have treated diabetics. In a meal, you have treated so many diseases because each of the leaves have its own advantages in the body. So, but let me start from what happens before the food, like the one I started with. In the morning when you wake up, shower your stomach, wash it, use sponge. And what is the sponge? The normal liquid um, that can do the work of antibiotics. If you can do that, you won't have too much of fat in your liver. You won't have it because you will have eroded. You will have cleaned up all the debris that the body don't count as unused food. The body has taken the one it can take. The unused ones still remain. Even if you pull, there's no way it can clean up everything. That's number one. Number two, then I know fruit is very expensive now, but we can plant it at the back of our yard. We can plant it. If you don't have all the condiments I talk about, you can just take a wuro, chew one leaf of it. That bitter leaf, chew one. Then if you are the one that is having problem with your liver, stop using toothpaste. Use orin ata, use orin idi, use orin ewúro. Because when you use all these things to wash your teeth, what happens? It is immediately, the water, the juice from it also goes down the throat. You don't, number one, it will save your money. Number two, it is natural because all the paste, also the toothpaste, also have its own chemical. In fact, I was told that we should not use it for little children. Now they have made the one for little children because they know that it's hazardous. And very many people don't know that the toothpaste for children is different from the one the adults use. What happened to chewing stick, Ori Ijebu? If you don't use your Pako Ijebu, you can spend your 3 minutes in the washroom and do that and go away. But because we used to use it around the house, it takes too long to use it. It's part of our life. No, we can use chewing stick the way you use our toothpaste. If you have been diagnosed of so many ailments, maybe ulcer, malaria, typhoid all the time, it is the accumulation of these chemicals that is lowering the immunity. And when the white blood cells becomes lower than 4,000, you are having problem. If it is more than 9,000 naira, you have a big problem. More than 10,000 units in your system, you are having a big problem. And the causes of all these things is what we eat. It is not, some of us will be treating stress. It is not stress. And what is typhoid? Our immunity differ. So if you know that you are coming under stress all the time, watch what you eat. If you wash it and you do exercise, you are not likely to be worn out unnecessarily. And you will grow up gracefully without infirmity or disease. So pharmacokinetics is the ability or activity of knowing what to eat. It doesn't have big English than using whatever you want to eat as drug. Be mindful of the content of what the nutrients in each of these things. All the seedlings, I dwell so much on the seeds, that is, we call spices now. Like I have a lot of it. I will continue to, be posting it on this platform. I think I have about 50 of it. They are in the market, but In fact, if the time I stumbled on it, I said, wow, people are bringing it from Jerusalem, from Israel. They are being brought in from the desert because they are also taking our food down there. We can access it in Lagos. We can access it here. We can even export it to Western world. We can do that because where we can get a big volume of it in a small quantity of it, we can sell it to the people in the neighborhood because not everybody in the Western world also know how to source for it. All these spices, like you want to eat cook a foriro, you can put ginger and garlic in a moderate way that the scent will not bring it out. You can grind ginger and garlic with your pepper. I was fortunate to see this kind of combination in Togo one time when I took my children there for excursion. Togo, Ghana, Benin. Togo, Benin, Togo, Ghana. We were in the market, Togo market, and I'm watching them grinding pepper. It has garlic. So almost everybody that came to grind pepper in the market added garlic and ginger to their pepper they came to grind. I say, hey. So because their colonization is in that the direct is direct rule. So they do everything Oyinbo people did. Uh, Oyinbo are doing. They still follow white people to the core. That's why their own is special, although they are being enslaved in a way. But they have learned so many things from these white people, especially from from French people. So we can look up places. Even the Isatbagi, I was surprised when I asked for somebody to, and he said, Isatbagi. My Maggi can be done by your own. Crayfish, and some other spices can be put together. You do your Maggi, my friend. You do your Maggi, and it will taste as if you have never eaten food from anywhere. You know the sauce by yourself. That is what we call African onion. It's different from this onion. Oh. It's like orogbo, it's like bitter leaf. That one works like anything. Um, Price of Barbados. Oh my God, Price of Barbados. That one is a wonderful material. All these spices, all these seedlings, they are there in the market. So it work. Let me tell you one thing about white people. White people, because it is not in their DNA, it is not in their thinking, they will continue to bombard us with medications. They will continue to bombard us with what they maybe use chemical to do, whereas they are eating natural foods. But because they want the pharmaceutical industry to boom, and they want to keep enslaving us forever. Until we keep ourselves away from them, we will continue to be their slave. So all our vegetables, all our uh, um, the vegetables, the seedlings, the tubers, even cocoa. Cocoa is a very beautiful source of energy and minerals. It has a very big. Ghanaians don't walk away with from cocoa. They eat cocoa more than they eat yam. Our beans in our indigenous in our town, there is what we call ewa, ewe. My goodness, if you eat it takes time to get cooked, take a long time. But if you cook it, if you eat it, the benefit of ewa elewe. So apart from the ewa awusa that we know of, why don't we plant ewa ewe? Ewa ewe is much more sweeter, better, and more nutritious to the system. So this is what I want to tell us. Please let us know and study. We can go to the Elewioma, they will tell us most of these things. Although I got to know this one by reading. I read from online, I read some literatures. I started knowing that when I was in a kind of condition that I couldn't help. I was looking for the fruit of womb, and I started reading, and I found out that I went to Nine Hot. I stumbled on one of their books. I bought it. I went to IRTA. I stumbled on their books. I got it. I have some of these things with me. And from there, I went to learn the names of the leaves in the whole world. I know all of them, and how can and I also went to um, Catholic mission at Bodija. I went there. I also got some books from them. There is one book that one Reverend Father wrote, Ododo, Reverend Father Ododo. That book is still with me. It's a very fantastic one. Ododo wrote so many things about healing from plants, leaves, seeds, and tubers. So we can. You don't need to become Babalawo. No, 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 no. You don't need to go and learn from Onifa. It is on the internet. We can talk it out on the like this, and keep encouraging each other so that we'll be able to live well together. In 20 years' time, I'll be able to talk like this. In 30 years' time, I will still be able to speak to the world what how beautiful God has made us. This Nigeria, this part of Nigeria is one of the best places, and even to Benue, to the Middle Belt. Middle Belt is also rich in all these things. South has have their own, Southeast, Southeast, Central, the Edo people, they are also good. Even the North, even in the north, there's nowhere you live, you stay, that you don't have the benefit that God, that you don't have the grace of God to eat whatever you want to eat. Thank you very much. This is my opening. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Before next week, I'll be a schedule, a timetable of what we are going to be discussing. Okay, sir. All right, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. All right, sir. Bye bye, sir. Yes, sir.